Hello children, welcome to the chemistry class once again for class 8, and today we are going to start new chapter, that is chapter 5, coal and petroleum. Okay, we have already finished our chapter 4, metals and non-metals, and now we will going to begin new chapter. So in this chapter we are going to study about the formation of coal, uses of coal, formation of petroleum, uses of petroleum, and their day-to-day applications in our life. But before starting the topic of coal and petroleum, we have to first understand what are natural resources and how natural resources are categorized into two different categories. So first of all, let's come to start the natural resources. So as obvious from the name, the resources which are obtained from nature, they are called natural resources. The sources which are obtained from nature, they are called natural resources, and the example are air, water, soil, forest, minerals. These all are the examples of natural resources as they are obtained from the nature. The man had been using these for a long time. Increasing population forced him to overuse the resources. Some of such resources are regenerated with time. So children, now these days we are knowing that population is now exploding day by day. It is increasing day by day, and due to high population we are forced to use the natural resources to our maximum limit. Okay, so some of the resources can regenerate in the environment without taking much more time, but some of the resources in the environment are taking thousands of years to regenerate, to reform again. Okay, so on that basis we can differentiate the natural resource into two categories, and these are, depending upon the availability of various resources in nature, the natural resource can be broadly classified into inexhaustible natural resource and exhaustible natural resources. So what are inexhaustible natural resources? We can also tell it renewable natural resources. Okay, and exhaustible natural resource, we can also tell it non-renewable natural resources. Okay, so I think so now it becomes more clear to you what do you mean by renewable and non-renewable, as you have already studied this in your junior classes, but once again we will recapitulate all these things. But before that we will know the do you know. Coal and petroleum are not only the source of energy but also the major source of large number of industrial chemical used in the manufacture of fertilizer, plastics, dyes, synthetic fiber, etc. So as you know children, coals and fibers has lots of uses. They are not only the main source of energy, but they are also used in industries, factories as a fuel for the manufacturing of synthetic fibers, these all things. Okay, so now comes to inexhaustible natural resources. So inexhaustible natural resources are also called renewable natural resource. So from the name it is clear that those natural resource which can renewable itself, which can renew itself, which can reformed itself, which can regenerated itself after a given period of time again and again in the nature, that are called inexhaustible natural resources. So the resources which are present in an unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to get exhausted by human activities are called inexhaustible natural resources. So those resources, yes children, those which are found in the nature in unlimited quantity, they will never ever exhausted by human activities. We cannot exhaust them by our activity, that are called inexhaustible natural resources. They are also known as renewable natural resources, and the examples are wind, water, sunlight, etc. are inexhaustible natural resources. We cannot finish them ever. Okay, now comes to exhaustible natural resources. So as it is named, its another name is non-renewable natural resources. So non-renewable means the resource which cannot regenerate itself in the nature, the resource which cannot made itself in the nature, those which are found in limited quantity in the nature, those which will finish one day in the nature, that are called exhaustible natural resources. So the resources which are present in limited quantity in nature and are likely to get exhausted over a certain period of time are called exhaustible natural resources. So children, I hope you better understand what do you mean by exhaustible and what do you mean by inexhaustible natural resources. So yes, exhaustible natural resources are those resources which will finish one day, and the example are, come to page number 81, and the example are petroleum, coal, natural gas, forest also, minerals, wildlife, etc. are the exhaustible natural resource, because they are now finishing one by one, they are now extinct, going to extinct one by one, and many of the species of forest and wildlife are endangered. Okay, now comes to the mineral. So mineral, as you know children, this is the backbone of any of the industry or factory. Any industry, to run any industry or factory, we need a mineral. Okay, these minerals are actually found in the lithosphere. So what is lithosphere? This is actually, this lithosphere is found in uh, the brittle portion of the mantle and the crust. You know the structure of earth. Okay, that structure of earth is having core, mantle, upper part. So that mantle and core together is known as lithosphere. Okay, brittle portion of mantle, mantle and crust is called lithosphere. And these all minerals are, most of the minerals that are found in lithosphere. Some important minerals are rock salt, mica, coal, petroleum, metals and their ores, limestone, sand. These all are types of minerals, and they actually, most of the minerals are found on the lithosphere layer of the earth. These minerals were formed due to very slow process taking place inside the earth. These minerals are distributed in the earth crust differently. These minerals are mined from the earth and processed to obtain useful product. So children, as they are found inside the earth crust, so they are mined from the earth crust, and then they are processed, refined, and then they are used to make different types of useful products. In this last few decades, the consumption of minerals has increased rapidly. Since minerals are the non-renewable resources, these cannot be replenished easily. Therefore, we should use minerals judiciously and economically so these could last longer. As you know children, minerals are exhaustible natural resource which are in limited quantity in the nature and which will finish one day. So children, yes, it is very true that we should use the minerals very judiciously and very economically, so that our generation also can see this type of material on the earth crust and will last longer. Now comes to the next page, that is page number 82. Now comes to coal, the first mineral which we have to study in this chapter, that is the coal. So coal and petroleum, as you already know, that is the main source of energy now, till now also in our country especially. Okay, and in many country also. So coal is one of the most important mineral and earliest used fossil fuel. It occurs at varying depth under the earth crust of the earth. Coal beds generally contain large amount of methane. So children, coal are actually found inside the earth crust. Okay, and they are found as a type of coal beds, and a large abundant quantity of methane gas is also obtained in the area of coal beds. In India, coal deposits are found mainly in Jharkhand, in the Jharia and Bokaro, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal. So here, do you know, cool and petroleum are exhaustible natural resources, As you already know children, these are minerals, but these are exhaustible, means they are limited in nature and they will finish one day, and their formation is also very slow process. They takes thousands of years to form. Petroleum, coal and natural gas are also called fossil fuels. These cannot be prepared in the laboratory from the dead organism because the conditions for their conversion in these cannot be created in the laboratory. Yes children, coal and petroleum are the things which you cannot prepare in the laboratory. They are not man-made, actually they are fully natural. Okay, and the condition in which they are formed inside the earth crust, like in absence of air, on the effect of high temperature and high pressure, that cannot be created in the laboratory. Okay, so that's why they are not formed in laboratory, and that's why they are considered as fossil fuel obtained from the earth crust. Now how is coal formed? How it is formed? So the process by which coal is formed inside the earth crust, that is called carbonization. Okay, so let's start this topic, how the coal is formed. Coal is found deep inside the earth in the form of coal beds. Coal was formed by the anaerobic thermal degradation of the cellulose material of big plants, trees which got buried inside the earth millions of years ago. So children, coal is actually formed, as I told you, inside the earth crust by the anaerobic thermal degradation. Anaerobic, that means in the absence of oxygen, in the absence of air. Thermal degradation, that means on the effect of high temperature and high pressure of the cellulosic material. Cellulose means one of the form of carbohydrate. You know that plants and trees are having carbohydrate in the form of cellulose, which we cannot digest. Only the ruminants can digest the cellulose. So the conversion of cellulose material of big plants by anaerobic thermal degradation inside the earth, whenever they got buried inside the earth millions of years ago, this process makes the coal. Okay, so this is not formed in within a one day or 1 year or 10 years, no, but it takes millions of years to form. That's why children, we should judicially and economically use the coal. Now anaerobic thermal degradation of wood is also termed as carbonization. So children, the process by which coal is formed by the anaerobic thermal degradation of the cellulosic plant material, that is called carbonization. Carbonization is a slow process, very slow process, and may take thousands of years, millions of years to take place. Thus the slow conversion of wood into coal under the influence of high temperature and high pressure and in the absence of air is termed as carbonization. Wood under the effect of high temperature and pressure and in the absence of air gets converted into coal through a number of steps, each steps leading to an increased carbon content. So children, here you can see once the sequence of change is, first of all the wood got buried inside the earth. So actually coal are formed by the plants and the trees, the vegetation material which are buried inside the earth millions of years ago. And when they got buried, what happened? The heat, due to heat and pressure, okay, they go slowly inside the earth crust, and in the absence of air and due to high temperature and pressure, they turns into first of all pit. This is the first category of coal. This is the first category of coal which contain 38% of carbon. It is light brown in color. Now again pit undergoes high temperature and pressure, okay, in the absence of air, and it turns into lignite. This is the second category of coal, and it contains 65 to 70% of carbon. Now again lignite, it is also brown in color, and now it again undergoes high temperature and pressure to form into bituminous coal, which is black in color, which contains 70 to 86% of carbon. And after that, bituminous also undergoes high temperature and pressure. It finally turns into anthracite, which is the finest quality of coal, which contains 86 to 100 92% of carbon. Okay, this is the finest quality of coal and this is the cheapest quality of coal. But all these are the quality of coal, but their carbon content is different. Okay, that's why their calorific value is also different. You can see here common variety of coal. Some common variety of coal are pit, which contain 38% of carbon, lignite, soft coal, which contains 65 to 70% of carbon, bituminous coal, which contains 70 to 80% of carbon, and anthracite, which contain 86 to 92% of carbon. And this is the finest quality of coal. Now let's start the do you know. Anaerobic thermal degradation of wood or cellulosic material means conversion of wood into coal under the effect of high temperature and high pressure and in the absence of air. As I told you children, this is the anaerobic thermal degradation, which is also known as carbonization. Okay, so now comes to different uses of coal. There are different uses of coal. Different variety of coal are used for different purposes. Bituminous coal is commonly used as a household fuel and in industry. Some common uses of coal are listed below. Coal is used as a fuel till now in many houses. Coal is used for the manufacture of coke, coal tar and coal gas. Coal gas is also used as a fuel. Coal is used for the manufacture of synthetic petrol and synthetic natural gas. Coal is used as a source of many organic compounds such as benzene, toluene, phenol, naphthalene, etc. Coal is also used in the extraction of metal from their ores. Okay, so these all are the different uses of coal. Now there is an oral question, so let's start this oral question. Name 2 exhaustible natural resources. So we can write here forest, wildlife. You can also write here coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Name any 3 fossil fuels. So yes, you can write here coal, petroleum, natural gas. Where are the most mineral found? So it is lithosphere. Most mineral are found. Which one of the following types of coal has the lowest percentage of carbon in it? And that is the lignite. Lignite is having lowest among bituminous, anthracite and lignite. Lignite is having lowest percentage of carbon. A variety of coal contains 38% of carbon, 19% volatile substance and 43% moisture. Name the variety, and that is pit. Okay, so this is all about today. I hope you understand all the topic. If you have any doubt, you can call me or send me message in my WhatsApp. So thank you. Have a nice day.